Unit 2A Study Guide, numbers 13 through 18. So in these problems, use mental math to solve. So I'm going to reason through how I would use mental math to solve. You might think of a different method and get the same answer, and that is okay. So 10% of 80. Well, one easy way when you've got multiples of 10, like 10 or 100%, is that you can just move the decimal. So if you think of 80, the decimal is here, and if you want 10%, you just simply move the decimal one to the left. So that's essentially finding a tenth of that amount. So when you move the decimal point, it becomes after the 8. So 10% of 80 is 8. Now on 14, 20% of 80, I'm going to use what I know from number 13 to answer 14. So if 10% is 8, 20% is going to be double that. If you didn't have number 13 to go off of and were just figuring 20% of 80, you could find 10% by moving the decimal and then double it. That's exactly what I do when I leave a tip at a restaurant. So if, let's say, my bill is $25.16, I like to give 20%. So in my mind, I move the decimal point once and I kind of round. So it would be $2.50. And then I would double that, which would be $5. Number 15, we'll use what we know from 13 and 14 to help us. So 70% of 80. Well, we know that 10% is 8. So if we take that times 7, that will give us 56. So 56 is 70% of 80. Number 16, 5 is 25% of what number? Well, 25% is a fourth. So I can think of this as 5 is a fourth of what number? Well, to work backwards, I could take 5 times 4 in my mind and get 20. 5 is 25% or a fourth of 20. I can do the same thing on number 17. 4 is 1% of what number? I can think of 1%. Remember, percent means out of 100. So this is 1/100th. So if I take 4 times 100, I can find out that number. And so 4 is 1% of 400. Number 18, we're finding 200% of 35. So if I think of 200%, that's 200 over 100, or that reduces down to 2. So what is double 35? 70. So 70 is double or 200% of 35.